What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Happy Monday, and welcome back here today to another episode of the Just Ballin' podcast. So, big disclaimer before this starts. I am recording this before the playoffs start. Yes, this is pre-recorded to come out on Monday because I'm going to be away from Sunday to Thursday. So from the 21st to the 25th, I will not be able to record anything. Therefore, I would not be able to sit down and record my reactions to Saturday's playoff games or Sunday's playoff games that you guys already know what happened. So for today's episode and for Wednesday's episode, it's going to be more draft related, and I'm pre-recording those before the playoffs, so I don't know what happened. I'm hoping my Knicks got off to a good start against the Sixers. I hope we had some entertaining games to start off Saturday's playoffs. But yeah, I wanted to record two things for you guys. We should be back either on Friday or Saturday, and definitely one of those 2 days because I'm going away, leaving from New York on Sunday, coming back to New York on Thursday, driving back to Philadelphia where I currently am on Friday. So maybe midday Friday, if not Saturday, you guys will get my kind of reaction to almost the first week of playoff basketball, and hopefully I'm in a good mood. If my Knicks are down like 3-0, I will cry. But yeah, we're going to react to ESPN's newest 2024 NBA mock draft today. I will be doing a GM mock draft for you guys on Wednesday, so I'm going to take control of every team in the first round and make a selection on, if I was the general manager on draft night, what I would do for that team specifically. So we are going to react to this ESPN mock on ESPN Plus. I had to pay $10 to get this because I recently canceled my ESPN Plus, and I was hoping I could find, I think the last time I reacted to an ESPN mock draft was on 3. And so I didn't have to pay for an ESPN Plus, but it's $10, whatever. I canceled it right away. I don't know why I'm being so cheap right now or saying that. So yeah, we're going to react to this mock draft. It came out on April 17th, so it is their most recent one. And it's titled 2024 NBA Mock Draft Team Analysis for All 31st Round Picks. So the Detroit Pistons are picking number 1. I think they're just going with no lottery simulation. And they're going to break down kind of East prospects specifically with the playing game starting. So they still have Reese Sachet going number 1 to Detroit. I don't know about that. They mentioned the Pistons are the NBA's worst three-point shooting team while ranking among the league's worst defenses. So you know what? They could use some defense. Alex Sarr is there with the number 1 overall pick. Ron Holland, I like more as a prospect than Zachary Reese Sachet. So I don't really agree with Reese Sachet, who struggled down the stretch playing in France, and the shot did not look good. I mean, I don't think he needs shot creating ability because you have that from Cade and you have that from a little bit from Ivy right now. And Reese Sachet could be a good fit next to a Sword Thompson and probably a little bit better of a fit, definitely on the offensive end of the floor, than a Stephon Castle because there's question marks for Castle's outside shot. But I think I would look at Alex Sarr here specifically, still find the number 1 pick. And I know he has some limitations shooting the ball, but Ron Holland is my number 2 prospect in this class. So I think this team needs to defend, and I think Cade has that potential. I don't know about Ivy, but Asor and Ron Holland together, I think would be great. And even if I'd rather have Ron Holland's elite defensive traits and him shooting 31% from 3 in his rookie year than Reese Sachet shooting 37% from 3 and some of his liabilities, I think, on the defensive end of the floor. And I like Holland's shot. I like Ron Holland's shot creating a little bit better too than Reese Sachet. So I disagree with this number 1 overall pick. Number 2, Wizards get Alex Sarr. I mean, yeah, 100%. If Sarr doesn't go number 1, and I think it would be probably unlikely. I don't know if it would be unlikely he goes to Detroit because they have Jalen Duren. But Sarr number 2, definitely 100%. Unless you're completely sold on Nikola Topic here. But yeah, you're not being cute and taking Donovan Clingan over Alex Sarr. And he's a really good fit to have with Bilal Coulibaly in that front court. Or at least, I don't know, man. I kind of want to see them trade Kyle Kuzma because I would be really excited about Coulibaly, Denny, and Alex Sarr in your 3-4-5. But even if you want Kuzma still there, which I'm not opposed to because you kind of need this veteran scoring and you can't have all young guys out there. Put Coulibaly at the 2, put Denny at the 3, put Kuzma at the 4, and put Sarr at the 5, and maybe you run Tyus Jones back at the 1. Probably better than seeing Jordan Poole out there. So riding the high off of his great tournament run, Donovan Clingan is going number 3 to the Portland Trailblazers in this mock. With the way this draft is falling, I'd still prefer Ron Holland. I have Ron Holland graded out as my 2nd ranked prospect in this draft behind Alex Sarr. And I don't think, I think if it came down, say this was the 4th pick and the first 3 were Sarr, Holland, and Topic, Sarr, Holland, and Clingan, I would look at, what was I trying to say here? I wouldn't look at Topic. I would take Clingan over Topic. That's what I meant to say. So say the first 2 picks were Sarr and Holland, not Sarr and Reese Sachet. I would look at Donovan Clingan over Topic, even though I have Topic graded higher, because Portland does not need another lead ball handler, right? Like, they have Scoot Henderson, who had a strong end to his rookie year, had a lot of ups and downs. I like the fit of Clingan there. I like Holland a little bit more, but I see the appeal of Clingan having a better rim protector, a more long-term outlook at your 5 spot with Scoot, with Sharp, maybe with Anthony Simons long-term, and I think it has a little bit more upside like next year right away than DeAndre Ayton does defensively. So I'm fine with Clingan to Portland at 3. I don't hate it, even though I have Holland graded out a little bit higher. They do have Rob Dillingham as the first guard off the board here, going to the Hornets at number 4. I kind of hate this fit. There's question marks with Dillingham defensively, and I think like Nick Smith, like obviously, like, okay, so if we did back to last year's draft, I would have Dillingham ranked higher than Nick Smith, but I do think Nick Smith could be the Ron Dillingham next year, and you already have that on your team in Smith. So why don't you look out and get Ron Holland, who could be, I think, an amazing fit with Brandon Miller and Mark Williams. Can give you a lot of size, a lot of length, a lot of versatility. And if it came down to them wanting a guard specifically, I would like Reed Shepherd, a little bit better of an off-ball player, because Dillingham does play well with the ball in his hands, but he's an elite shooter. I just think Dillingham is a weird fit to Charlotte at 4. I'd much rather see Dillingham go to probably Washington if it came down to it, or San Antonio. Even Memphis off the bench, I don't know how Dillingham's going to be good right away. And I also don't love, I mean, like, Charlotte's kind of changing their whole environment, like new GM, new coach, but I am not the biggest fan of Dillingham to Charlotte. I'd rather have Ron Holland there. I'd rather have Reed Shepherd if you really wanted a guard. And I think they need to improve their defense as well. Like Stephon Castle is probably my second ranked perimeter defender. That could go realistically in the top 10. Like, it's probably ranked like Ryan Dunn 1, Ron Holland 2, Stephon Castle 3. But Dillingham, I don't know. Dillingham to 4, I don't really love. So I'm fine with like Sarr 2 to the Wizards, Clingan 3 to the Blazers. I'm not really a big fan of Reese Shea 1 to the Pistons, and Dillingham 4 to the Hornets. So number 5, we have Nikola Topic going to San Antonio. Big fan of this pick. Pair him up with Victor Wembanyama. He's unselfish. He's a good passer, good court vision. Could also drive to the rim at an above average level. I don't think the defense is going to be that bad because he's got good size. He can put on strength, and he's so young. And he's going to be playing with Victor Wembanyama, who can help him out defensively as well. So I think Topic is a phenomenal land for them here at 5. And even though I have Holland ranked higher than Topic, I like the fit of Topic in San Antonio much better than I do of Ron Holland. So 6, we have Toronto. I don't really love Matas Buzelis going there. I think like still I would have Ron Holland off the board. Could help them out defensively. And like there's the appeal of Buzelis being a stretch 4, but there also is that of Ron Holland. And I know Buzelis played much better for the Ignite kind of over the second half of that season on the defensive end of the floor, but Holland is still better, I think, right now and long term than Buzelis on the defensive end of the floor. Better in the passing lanes, I think much more physical, and I think just better on-ball defense for sure. It just Buzelis does have the length and the wingspan over him. And I think jumper-wise, they're both not looking good right now, but I honestly have more faith in I think I have more faith in Ron Holland's because I think it's a little bit smoother. I think he has a little bit better shot selection at times. But I do see the appeal and the potential and the intangibles in Buzelis. I just don't like the fit here at 6. I think it's way too high. Reed Shepherd to the Grizzlies at 7. Why is everybody low on Ron Holland? I don't get it. But Reed Shepherd, 7 to the Grizzlies. Good combo guard. Phenomenal shooter. At the moment I'm recording this, he has not made a decision if he's going into the NBA or not. I'm going to assume he does, but there's still a chance he returns to Kentucky. I'm sure has a very tough decision to make for sure. But Reed Shepherd to Memphis, I'm a fan of. I mean, if you're not going to get Sarr Clingan in the draft, don't take a center. I would take Holland still if this is the way the draft fell, but I've mocked it before, and I've said before that I love the fit of Shepherd in Memphis to come off the bench, be efficient, run that second unit, and I like that fit because I think Memphis would be a good place for him to develop. Jazz at 8, Stephon Castle. So we don't have Ron Holland, my number 2 ranked prospect, in the top 8. I do like the fit of Stephon Castle to Utah because he could play the 1, he could play the 3. I don't know if he's going to be like an off-ball shooter. I think it would be an interesting fit. I think I would like some lineups with like Keontae George, Colin Sexton, and Stephon Castle out there at the same time. I think if you're relying on Castle to be maybe your like 4th or 3rd shooting option in your lineup, you're going to have some issues. But if you have a lineup out there with Taylor Hendricks, with I'm blanking, Lowry Markkinen, with Colin Sexton, with Keontae George, and you have Castle out there, yeah, Castle can be your worst 3-point shooter, and that's going to be great because of his defensive potential and his defensive ability on that end of the floor. And then you also have his slashing, his cutting aspect of his game because he's a phenomenal off-ball player and pretty smart on that end of the floor. So I do like the fit of Stephon Castle to Utah at 8. So they are able to keep this pick here. 9, the Rockets select Dalton Connect. Hate this. Take Ron Holland here for sure. Even if you want to take the upside of Cody Williams, who they have going one pick later to Atlanta. Connect, I think at 9 is a little bit too high. He obviously is a phenomenal shooter. Smart player. Doesn't remind me of Kevin Knox at all, like as an overall game. But I think like if you look at Connect's jumper to like Reed Shepard's jumper, I think it's a little bit slower, and I think defenses are going to have a better time in the NBA guarding it because they're a little bit quicker. They can able to process what he's doing on that end of the floor. I actually don't hate him in Houston because I like him playing under Ime Udoka than some other fits. But I think the way that this draft is falling, if you have this Brooklyn pick, I would take Ron Holland. 10, we have Atlanta taking Cody Williams. This is fine. Once again, Ron Holland is on the board. I would take Ron Holland over Cody Williams. Cody Williams has high upside, but man, there's going to be some growing pains next year for sure. I don't think he's going to be as good right away like his brother was out of Santa Clara. He's a little bit older for a freshman. He's going to be kind of 20 throughout the middle of the year, and he's going to be an interesting fit in Houston, or excuse me, in Atlanta if he were to get drafted by them. No idea what they're doing this offseason. Trae Young would help his development. I don't think DeJounte Murray would hurt it by any means if they opted for Murray over Trae next year, but they have a lot of wings right now. I mean, I assume they try to move off of Capella, and I assume they try to move one of Trae or DeJounte Murray, but I think I would still opt for Ron Holland here if I were Atlanta. And I think if you're going to keep those guys and you're trying to give someone that could help you right away next year, I would look into Kyle Filipowski out of Duke. I would also look into Devin Carter. I would look at Jared McCain for his shooting ability because, man, oh man, I'm not trusting Bogdan Bogdanovic anymore to hit big shots. I've lost faith in him watching the Hawks this year. We have Isaiah Collier going to the Bulls at 11. I hate this pick. I like Collier as a prospect. I'm cool with him going at 11, just not to the Bulls. You have your backcourt of Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White, who are definitely not going anywhere. Right now, Zach LaVine's not going anywhere. They don't seem like they want to move Alex Caruso. It could happen this offseason. And you have Javon Carter still under contract. You have way too many guards. This is going to be a horrible spot for Collier to develop. And I don't want to see him play 60% of his games in the G League next year or have 50% of his games where he's playing 3 minutes a night on average and it's in garbage time. Like, I want to see Collier develop because I think he could be a true offensive power horse as a lead ball handling guard, and he could drive so well to the rim and he could score at ease. And there's going to be some ups and downs. I just don't think Chicago's a good fit. I think they need some big man depth or even some wing depth as well. Ron Holland on the board. What are we doing? What are we doing? This is so stupid. If they have Zach Edey go before Ron Holland, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. At number 12, Jacoby Walter going to the OKC Thunder. All right. Once again, you can have Ron Holland, but I like Walter. I do. I think the potential alone should still let him go in the lottery. I've seen him go out of the lottery in some mocks as of late. No, he should still go in the lottery because he could be an elite 3-and-D player in this league. I think there are some shot creating questions to his game, but I think he has the intangibles, the process making, and he is going to be, I think, a smooth-looking NBA player. Like they mentioned, he's a smooth shooter, and I think he's going to be someone that looks like he knows what he's doing with the ball and actually could create his own shot. Like I like his shot-creating potential more than I like Reese Hashay's, but I do think that there are some shot selection questions because he could take some bad shots for sure. But I think he's got the upside to be a good player, and OKC at 12, I mean, no risk to them. Finally, we have Ron Holland go 13 here to the Sacramento Kings. I mean, I love this. The Kings may not end up at 13. You're going to know by the time this video comes out if they make the playoffs or not, if they beat the Pelicans. So this pick is lottery protected. So I actually kind of forgot about that. Like I said, you already know if they made the playoffs or not. So if they don't make the playoffs, they keep their pick. Oh, yeah. So if they're outside the lottery, it goes to Atlanta because the Kevin Huerter pick is lottery protected. I mean, that'd be huge for Sacramento. Okay, low-key, I mean, this is going to be irrelevant because you know if they made the playoffs or not now, but they should not make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Malik Monk, but if they're able to draft somebody late in this lottery, that is huge for them. That is huge. Especially somebody like more NBA ready. Like if they were able to draft like a Devin Carter, move on from Davion Mitchell. Ooh, that would get me excited. Or Jared McCain or Tyler Smith. But Ron Holland at 13 is immense value. You have someone that's an elite defender right out of the gate. He could score at ease at the rim. There's some questions with his jumper, but I think he has a great feel for the game. And it was in a terrible environment, and he's gone through great stretches where he can shoot the ball. I think he's got good playmaking ability. This is the steal of the draft if he fell to 13. He should go second. He could go first, and I'd be okay with it. 13 is insane. You may lose Malik Monk in free agency, but Keon Ellis, Ron Holland defensively, and Keegan Murray's improvement this year. Ooh, all right, that gets me excited. With Sabonis at the 5 and Fox at the 1, and we could no longer see Harrison Barnes sometimes playing some defense in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I would love this. I mean, the odds of 1, Holland falling to 13, extremely low. 2, the Kings might not even have their first round pick. So you all know by the time you're watching this or listening to this. So 14, Tijon Salon going to the Blazers via Golden State. This pick, I think, could be a little bit higher because the Warriors are technically eliminated. So the Kings or the Pelicans would end up with 14. I think the Warriors would be picking at 13. And yeah, I think Tijon Salon, I don't know. I mean, like, to Portland, it's a fine fit because I think they should take like another big man, and they end up with Klingon, and I'm okay with them not taking a wing because they have like Rupert and Chris Murray, and I mean, Tamani Kamara is more of kind of like a big, same with Jabari Walker. It's just like a crowded team to get like ample playing time if you're not one of their top guys or top paid guys, but like they're not good. Like, they should not have re-signed Jeremy Grant. I mean, if they could trade him this offseason, do it. They can move DeAndre Ayton, do it, but no one's buying that, or nobody wants Aiden's contract. They can move Brogdon. If they can move Time Lord, you do that. I mean, I don't hate Salon to Portland. I just think 14 is high. There's some other guys I like still on the board to them. Like, I know it's another guard, but Jared McCain. Take him. Tyler Smith I like more than Salon by far. 15, Miami Heat, Zach Edey. What? First of all, I don't know. Zach Edey could maybe go 15. I mean, the Heat may be picking in the lottery. Like I said, Tom, you're seeing this. Jimmy's out for the Bulls playing game on that happened on Friday. So we'll see if they were. Well, you guys will know once again if they were able to beat the Bulls or not. But Zach Edey, is he a Spo guy? Does Coach Eric Spoelstra looks like he wants to play somebody that has no defensive versatility, no defensive mobility, no defensive speed on the perimeter? Why would the Heat, like, does Zach Edey scream Miami Heat to you? No, he's the complete opposite of what the Heat have been building and what their motto is. I think Edey could go at 15, sure. To the Heat. I disagree with that a lot. I think they need a backup big because no longer should they be relying on Kevin Love to get back up 5 minutes. Yves Missi, way more athletic on the board. Khalil Ware, way more athletic on the board. Tyler Smith, also way more athletic. And even Kyle Filipowski I'd rather have because he can at least space the floor a little bit on the offensive end of the floor, and I think is better defensively than Edey, or at least a little bit more mobile, than Zach Edey. So yeah, I disagree with that a lot for so many reasons. 16, Lakers, Kyle Filipowski. It's looking like the Pelicans are going to give the Lakers their pick this year and take it next year, which I agree with. I don't think that the Lakers are going to be like a top 5 team in the West next year. So even if they're picking at 16 next year, you're fine with that. Even at 18 or 19, like, I'd probably rather have the 19th overall pick in 25 than the 16th overall pick in 24 because of the draft class quality. Filipowski to the Lakers. I mean, yeah, you need an upgrade over Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes. Like, you need some big man help. They have like guards and wings, so I like Filipowski to the Lakers. Devin Carter to the Sixers. I hate this and love this. I would hate to see him in Philly, but love this fit for them. This is an NBA ready player. I don't know why he doesn't have McCain going yet. McCain will also be a great pick for Philly. But with Carter potentially replacing Kyle Lowry next year, love that because good defense out of the gate, good 3-point shooting, and is NBA ready. Jared McCain going to the Raptors at 18. This is a phenomenal pick. So they have Buzelis and McCain. You would have really hit me if you did Ron Holland and McCain in this draft. But McCain is a borderline top 10 prospect for me. I had him at 9 in my most recent update. So him at 18 is crazy value. Going to be one of the best shooters right away. And you have kind of him and Emmanuel Quickly, who's going to be my comp for him in Toronto together, which is kind of funny. Tristan Da Silva, 19 to the Orlando Magic. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this, but Da Silva could help them space the floor a little bit right away. I mean, McCain would have been a beautiful fit for them. I would maybe also look at Johnny Furphy here. I just don't know. I'm like kind of off Tristan Da Silva as a prospect a little bit as a top 20 pick because I think he has a lower ceiling than some of these other guys. Like, I know he could be a little bit more ready shooting the ball than Tyler Smith, who they have 20 to Cleveland. But I have Tyler Smith so much higher than Tristan Da Silva because I think what Smith could be when he's 3 years older at De Silva's age, I think it's going to be way better than De Silva is right now. And Cleveland getting Tyler Smith at 20 is a steal. I want him to go to my Knicks. 21, the Bucks getting Kevin McCullough. They need somebody NBA ready that could score off the bench for them. I mean, Malik Beasley was great in the first half, struggled in the second half. McCullough looks like he could be a solid defender and shot creator. I've been all over McCullough this year, and there's at points where I'm like, this guy's not a first-round pick. And he's not going to be like a great player in this league because he's pretty close to his ceiling, but could be this year's Jaime Jaquez, just can contribute right away, and Milwaukee needs that. 22 Pelicans getting Yves Missi. I'm a fan of that. They need some big man help for sure. Valanciunas is not a good defensive big by any means, and Missi could be a nice upgrade for them going forward. Bobby Klintman going to the Suns at 23. The way that this draft has fallen, I mean, Klintman could space the floor for them and has, I think, good defensive potential. I would also look at, I still like Ryan Dunn a ton. I think Ryan Dunn would be a good fit there. I mean, Kel'el Ware is still on the board. I would look at him. This may be a little high for Ethan Almanza, but I do like Ethan a little bit more than Klintman. So, I don't know. I like Klintman a little bit more than Ethan, I think, going back on it because of the floor spacing potential. It's just weird. I feel like Phoenix, I mean, Klintman is not, super raw because he did play last year at Wake Forest and this year in the National Basketball League. But I wonder, I think they would want a Kevin McCullough or Devin Carter for sure. Knicks, 24, getting Keyshawn George. I'm a fan of that. The Knicks could definitely take some guys that aren't ready this year that could maybe take a little bit of time to develop. Quentin Grimes, I think, was a little bit more ready out of the gate, but Emmanuel Quickly, even Keyshawn George specifically, or he can be kind of more like Miles McBride. He's going to be someone that's going to be a good 3-and-D guy on the back half of that rookie deal. And the Knicks are going to be pretty deep where they don't need him to contribute right away. So I'm actually a huge fan of Keyshawn George to the Knicks at 24. And they have Bub Carrington to the Knicks at 25. I don't really know if I want the Knicks to take a lead guard. I mean, he's so young, and like George, could be actually a real rotational piece on the back half of that rookie deal. And maybe they get out price for Miles McBride when he's a free agent in 4 years, and that's where Carrington could come in. But you have Brunson, you have McBride, you're taking Keyshawn George, you have DiVincenzo. I don't know if the Knicks need another guard. I think I would look at another big man, especially if they lose Hardenstein in free agency. And are they ever going to extend Randall after this year? We'll see. The way that this draft has fallen, I mean, I'd probably look at Johnny Furphy. I'd look at Almanza. I don't think I would take Oso Ighodaro here. I think I would take a chance on Ulrich, possibly, the Africa Academy prospect. They have Juan Nunez going to the Wizards at 26, probably the highest I've seen him mocked. Could have good playmaking, pick and roll ability as a point guard. And since they had him taking Alex Sarr at number 2, I'm fine with them taking a point guard at 26. I don't really love Tyler Kolek to them. DJ Wagner's entering the transfer portal. Tyrese Proctor's going back to Duke. Maybe KJ Simpson, but Nunez definitely has a little bit more upside than him, or Trey Alexander. Maybe I'd look at AJ Mitchell. Johnny Fairfield going to the Timberwolves at 27. I like his upside if he's going to go in the draft. I still think he should stay at Kansas because he could be a much higher pick next year. But I think getting him at 27 is good value for Minnesota. And obviously they need another point guard. They could be a Tyler Kolek team. They could be a KJ Simpson team or an AJ Mitchell. But getting Furphy, I think at 27 is solid for Minnesota. And I think he could go top 25. Denver taking Kolek at 28. This makes a lot of sense. Reggie Jackson getting up there in age. They moved on from Bones Highland last year. They need a backup point guard right away for Jamal Murray. And they've drafted plenty of wings over the last couple of years in Strother, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Hunter Tyson, Jalen Pickett. They don't really need another wing. They could look at big man help because Najee's been a little disappointing. But Jokic stays healthy and he's going to play 35 minutes a night. You could take a big man here that's Kel'el Ware that can play 10 minutes a night, and that is an upgrade over DeAndre Jordan. But I think I would look at point guard instead because Murray does have injury concerns every year. Justin Edwards out of Kentucky, 29 to the Jazz. I like his upside to still be a first rounder. There's going to be questions with the shot making ability, but I think he's going to have some good defensive ability. And the Jazz ending up with Justin Edwards and Stephon Castle. I mean, I see the vision. I do. And to finish off this mock, we have Kel'el Ware to the Celtics at 30. I've seen Edey mocked a ton at 30 to the Celtics, and I've been fine with it. And I like Ware more than I like Edey, so I'm cool with this happening. And I think Kel'el Ware could actually be a high upside guy in Boston, running with Peyton Pritchard in that second unit. And they need big man help with Horford getting up there in age and Porzingis' injury concerns. So I do like Ware a ton, and I think Boston should go big man at 30. All right, so there is a second round here. No notes for this, but Ryan Dunn going to the Raptors at 31. That's insane value. You're ending up with Buzelis, Jared McCain, and Ryan Dunn. I mean, that I can get talked into. But if you did, oh my God, I love Ryan Dunn more than more people. Same with Jared McCain and Ron Holland. If you did Holland McCain done. That's like an A++ for me. Jalen Tyson, good scoring wing, go to the Jazz at 32. I see the vision once again. Trailblazers getting Terrence Shannon 33, so he's fallen back to the second round. We're like, it's funny because like if you read like Kevin O'Connor's mocks at the Ringer, he gets so, I think, worked up with like recency play in like March Madness. Like he had Terrence Shannon, borderline top 10. Hunter Salas, great game against Duke at the end of the regular season. Boom, like top 20 pick. We've seen Klingon go up to 3, which is now staying around a little bit more, but Shannon fallen to 33, and I mean, he's older because he was a fifth-year college player. Same with like Kevin McCullough in the draft. Like you're going to see those fifth-year guys because of the COVID eligibility. Harrison Ingram, Bucks at 34. Can space the floor. I like Harrison Ingram. I mean, he's never going to be someone that can create his own shot, I think, at the NBA level, but I like it. Peyton Sandford out of Iowa. I forget if he... Wait, okay. Peyton Sandford, Iowa. Okay, I thought he ended up staying for Iowa, but I think he is declaring for the draft. He's doing what like Bronny's, but like maintaining his eligibility. So he is till May 29th. Okay, because I was like, wow, he stayed and they kept him in, but he did declare, but he can come back. Dylan Jones, 36 of the Pacers, love that value. I have a first round grade on him. Ethan Almanza, also have a first round grade on him, going to the Timberwolves at 37. You're getting Almanza and Johnny Furphy in this draft. I like that for them. Baylor Shireman to the Knicks at 38. Hey, if he can knock down his threes, that could be valuable. Could it be like a Sam Hauser in this draft? Pacomi Dadiet, I like a ton. Memphis at 39. He's going to get some first round hype because of the potential, and he's got a really good looking jumper. Alex Caravan to the Blazers at 40. Hey, I like this. Someone that can cut, someone that can slash, and I think that's good value at 40. Melvin Ajinka, not a huge fan of, but going to the Sixers at 41. Obviously love their first round pick with Devin Carter. Cam Christie, Minnesota. I don't know much about Cam Christie. First time I've even, I think, said his name. Going to the Hornets here at 42. Ulrich Chomsky going to the Kings at 43. I think that's solid upside, but he's such a raw prospect. He's going to take a long time to develop in the league. That's why I think like a first round pick isn't like the worst idea because you get him for 4 years, but you'd have to be a team, I think, with multiple firsts. But if you sign him to like a 4-year rookie deal in the second round, I think that's worth it. Trevon Brazile to the Rockets at 44. I think that's fine with him going in the middle of the second round. Same with Keyshawn Johnson to Arizona at 45. Pele Larson to the Spurs at 46. So back-to-back Arizona Wildcats. I like Larson to San Antonio. KJ Simpson to the Clippers at 47. I think he's like a fringe top 40 pick, so that's good value. Onenso, I'm going to butcher his name because I didn't really watch him too much at Kentucky or like focus on him, but he just declared for the draft. I mean, I got to dive into his film a little bit more, but they have him going to the Magic at 48. Hunter Salas to the Pacers at 49. Great value. I think should be a top 45 pick. Wizards at Dembona. He ends up going here 50 to the Wizards. I'm fine with that. I can't say I know who 51 is to the Pacers. Montas from the New Zealand Breakers. First time I've seen his name. Ryan Kalkbrenner, good size, good frame. Pacers at 52. They may lose a little bit of their big man depth. Pistons getting Deron Holmes at 53. That is way too low. Way too low. AJ Mitchell to the Celtics at 54. Way too low. I mean, it's a mock. It's not a big board, but I disagree with some of those picks. Jackson Robinson going to the Lakers at 55. Nikola Duricic out of Mega MIS going to the Nuggets at 56. Can't say no much about him either. Jalen Bridges, Baylor, 57 to the Grizzlies. I think I'm fine with him going in the second round, but I like Cam Spencer, Tristan Newton, maybe even Caleb Love a little bit more than Jalen Bridges. And then Ariel Hukporti out of Melbourne, going to the Mavericks at 58. Yeah, a lot of these, some of these international guys, I do not know in the second round, and that's what I think like Gavoni and Brian we were known for, and like traveling across the world and knowing these guys. So maybe I'll dive into those prospects a little bit more. But that is going to be my reaction to ESPN's newest 2-round mock draft. If you guys did enjoy on YouTube, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this mock. I'll leave a link to the article in the YouTube description. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I'd really appreciate a rating and review over there as well. The pod is growing, and I do appreciate that a ton. And hit that follow button. It takes 2 seconds. Or if you can leave a rating or the review, that also takes 2 seconds and helps the pod grow as well. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode, which should be a new mock draft from me. And I'll finally know kind of what happens in the playoffs, and you'll get my reactions to that on Saturday as well. So I'll catch you guys there.